Welcome back, Davo here. Looks like we're going to do some more pH meters today in my pH meter craziness series. My own homemade distilled water, which I love. I should probably mention the $40 water distiller, home water distiller I bought over a year ago. I think that it's just, I've made hundreds of gallons of distilled water, so I don't have to go out to the store. I made it with this to get my measurements exact. I used my little dropper because I wanted to make sure I got exactly 250 milliliters of water for these things. We're going to mix up some new testing solution. We have our old testing solution, homemade old testing solution. So we've done the Hanna, our source of truth to all things pH testing right here. And this Hanna 981361 is my most accurate. The other day we did the G-Digi. A little bit before that we did the AC Infinity. They're all pretty accurate, but in the order I showed them, more or less. The Hanna, then the AC Infinity, then the G-Digi, which is our newcomer. Although I'm probably not going to use him for testing results today, just because I have only had him a couple days. But today we're going to test two new ones. We're going to test the it's another Hanna. It's the HI98103. Now this is normally like 60-70 bucks. I found an eBay unopened version of this for I think maybe like 20-some dollars for it. So there it is. Obviously it's dry, but I don't know if that means this tip comes off. Oh, it does. Okay, so there is a cap. So when we store this, and I can't stress this enough for those who watch the other videos, you got to put KCl solution in the cap, because like I'll put his thing up. Like the weed guy says, if it's dry, your probe will die. And then I like to add on to his, if your probe is dry, it will die. If you keep your probe wet, you're all set. That's the Dave part, the all set. Anyway, but this wasn't stored properly. That's okay. And then we have another one. I know I showed the busted ones before, but I went to Amazon and I bought another $4 Vivo Sun Special. Although I don't know if this one's branded Vivo Sun. Boy, I didn't mean to, I guess, make this unboxing. This does not look new. This cap's dry. Somebody bought this, probably was inaccurate, and then they rammed the instructions back in. This is called MexiB is the name of this one. MexiB. I'll put MexiB down there, and there's the box. Oh, I couldn't even get a new one. But this is like the other ones, and we all know I got plenty of extra batteries. We will have to calibrate him, just to be fair. I don't know how to calibrate this one, and it didn't really come with a lot of instructions. Did it come with a calibration? Oh, what do you know? So I do have calibration procedure on this. I don't have my glasses here, and thanks to my old age, I'm blind. So I will calibrate both of these, to be fair, initially. And then we'll compare them to the Hanna source of truth and maybe see what AC Infinity says. Sometimes Hanna and AC Infinity will disagree a slight amount. And then we'll run them through our pre-solution, and then we'll run them into our actual testing solution. So going to pause right now where I go find my glasses, read up, and then we'll start calibrating. I got the Vivo Sun MexiB unit soaking. I soak in tap, I mix all the solutions and distill, and I also have the Hanna as well in both of these. So I guess let's calibrate this guy first. The main reason why is it uses a slightly different calibration solution. Instead of 4, it has 4.01. Instead of 7, it has 6.86. And instead of 10, it has 9.18. And I previously mixed and made these. One thing I want to show you guys I've been doing, I bought a little food coloring kit like this off Amazon, And since I'm mixing a bunch of these solutions and I don't want them to get confused, I'm hoping it doesn't throw it off. I'm putting 1 drop, and I have the blue. 1 drop of blue goes into the high pH solution, and then I put it in and shake it up. This way I'm being consistent and uniform. I know right away looking at this is my high pH, and then my 686, which is close to 7, will get the green. 1 drop only. That's all you really need for food coloring. There's my 1 drop only. That's now green, so I know that to be the mid-tier, mid-level pH solution. And then over here I got my 4. And that gets the red. Ooh, 1 drop. I'm going to calibrate this Vivo Sun meter with this. I'm going to move this aside for a second. I'm going to focus on this guy. I also want to call out, I did also make 3 individual samples, or not samples, new testing solutions. I followed the instructions. I put the 250 milliliter water in each one of these. Put all the solution into, gotta cut it over there in case some of this spills out. I'm trying to be careful when I'm doing this. Try to not spill any of this anywhere except for in the actual thing itself. So this is the 4 solution. Opening it up slowly. Looks like I got all of it in there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up real good. My 1 drop only red. There's, looks like a little bit is left. 7 solution. It's going to get 1 drop of the green. There you go. Start shaking it up. That looks like just about most of it dissolved. Make it blue. In today's video, I found a new friend outside. It's either an elephant beetle or it identified it as a harmless 2 or 3 different types of beetles. When I looked it up, it's alive and it's like almost 3 inches long, and it was kicking it on my front porch. So there are my 3 new solutions. So let's get to the calibration of this. As I did before, I have a pre-solution per Hanna's instructions. You put your pre's out first to get the probe in the general vicinity. Once that's done, you then move it into your actual solution to be tested. And I remember from using these before, you want to do the 6.867 first. I said 6.86/7 first. And then after that, you want to go into the 4, and then after that, you want to go into the 9. The probe looks clean, so I'm going to put him. I put him in the pre, which I think is 686. It's reading it, and remember, this looks like it's been returned. It's reading it as 6.3, and if I remember correctly, I got to press and count to 5 on the calibration on the cow button on this thing. So there's a cow button that you got to press for 5 seconds before you actually put it in the testing solution. So there's my actual solution to be tested, and it's 686, not 7, which is what this meter wants. I don't think you're supposed to calibrate it. Ironically, it reads the pre-solution as 621. It's a calibration solution. It's not supposed to be perfect. This one is. So I take him out. I'm going to put him in the cow solution. And I am going to try to do this in such a way that the camera will pick this up. See what we got. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. And it says 686, which means it's going to calibrate for 686 if this meter's not screwed up. That's a lot of, okay, so it took it. Okay, so now we calibrated 6.6 on VivoSun. Now it's time for us to go back into our medium solution. I'm not going to put the cap on these things yet because, well, actually I can, and I'll tell you why. I read the instructions for the Hanna probe, and that wants to calibrate to 7.0. I'm going to need the pre's. The Hanna wants to calibrate to 7.0, not 6.86. So up a little bit to make sure it's in the solution itself. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's up, and then 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, you got it. After it hits this, it goes past 5 seconds, and it'll say 6.86. You got to press the cal button. You got to let go after your 5 seconds, and then you got to tap the cal button one more time to make it drop down to the 4.0. So now we calibrated 4.01. Remember, I have my caps matching my solution so I don't cross-contaminate. And then our last one, 918. I'm sorry, 918. I got my pre, then my... And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, not 6. Nope, not 4. 918. So we're on the 918. Guess it's going to give me 6 flashes. All right, 918, it stopped. So, unlike my previous 2 VivoSun meters, this one actually calibrated. And it's reading the 918. Now it just dropped down to 917, but that's not something I'm going to be concerned about. And we're going to go back into the neutral solution for that. So now I'm actually done with the packets of this stuff. We've now got our VivoSun Mexi B calibrated. Good for that. Let's move on to our Hanna checker. This pH is dancing. Like it's all over the map. It just went back to, where is it at? It went to a 1. There goes to the 1. 17, 15. Yeah, these are not actual good pH readings. So, now, how they say to calibrate this is they say take a on-off button. There's 2 calibration screws on this, a high and a low. The one on the left, the blind man glasses, you calibrate your 7 here. There's just a little set screw, and then either your 4 or your 10 gets calibrated with this screw. So it's the same as before. We got it now. This time though, this doesn't want 686. This wants a 7 solution. So I'm going to move right to calibration, see where it gets me. I'm going to put it in my pre-solution first before I drop it in an actual 7 solution. It's reading my pre. Oh, and I needed a super tiny screwdriver for this. I needed like a very, very small flathead because those set screws are not very big. So believe it or not, it's at 646, 643. Is where it's reading the calibration solution. You really got to not move this probe because it gets a little spacey if you move it around. So now I'm going to put it in what I know to be 7. I guess the secret here is don't move the cup. It does not like movement. Back down to 7, 6, 7, 5, 8. This thing would overwhelm. Yeah, see if it moves, it jumped up to 8. Good gosh, that's not right. So I guess what I have to do, boy, but how am I going to calibrate it if I can't move it? Oh, it just said 7.05, which is kind of where I want it to be. Boy, this thing takes a long time to focus in at. About 7.6 is where this is at. So now let me try to adjust the little screw. Boy, you really have a hard time calibrating with this thing. I think this meter's screwed up. I think I got a bad one. I gotta go on to eBay and fight to send it back. Man, I thought I got a $60 meter for $20. How wrong I was. Yeah, this, I don't even know if this is usable. It just takes so long to get dialed in, and if you just budge it a little bit, it throws it way off. I think I'm going to write this. I've got better meters that don't do this. I'm not saying this particular type of meter is bad. I'm saying the one I have is goofy. And I bought it used. It does turn on and work, but can't really calibrate. The readings are not stable. So this was good. It's not 100% dead. Ugh. And I will be sending this back. Yeah, turn it off. So we tried with this, but at least we get to see our Vivo Sun in action. So before we get to see it, that's a bummer. I was kind of excited for another $20, another Hanna meter, but this one was only going to cost me 20 bucks. So we'll get Hanna out of the solution now. Let's see what it. All right, so let's test some stuff, right? Let's get our stuff going around here. So we know this to be 7. I put Hanna in here. Swirl it around. It says it's 6.9 is what Hanna calls G-Digi. There's it here. Hanna also calls this one 6.9. AC Infinity 7. So Hanna thinks all these 7 solutions are actually closer to 6.9. Our new calibration solution is going to check out at for. Now this is not 7, this is 6.86, so I should be getting a 6.8 out of this. Let's see what Hanna thinks of this. What do you know? 6.8, not 6.9. Oh, it just went up. It's bouncing between 6.8 and 6.9, so it knows this solution's a little bit less, which is good. Alright, so that's our Hanna. Went to. Let's see what our AC Infinity does. Let's run him through the paces. So, what was our first thing? So I got to go to the pre. Let's test their own AC Infinity 7. Let's see what it thinks this is. It thinks its own cal solution is. Interesting. 7.1 or 7.2, their own calibration solution. Now this is also another 7. This is the G-Digi 7 that I kind of cross-contaminated a little. Let's see what it thinks of this. Also thinks of this 7 as 7.2. Interesting. Let's do the who knows what brand 7 next. Calls the buffer, the pre-solution, it calls it 7, which we know is a little bit lower. 7.2 as well on this. And last but not least, let's check our. Goes right back down to 7.0 on the pre-solution. Let's check the 6.86. And it calls the 6.86 7.0. So in the middle range, this guy seems to be 0.2 high, the AC Infinity. Interesting. Okay, do the same with our Vivo Sun. Turn him on, put him in the pre. Now it's interesting, it calls the pre 7.2. What does it call the 7.0 G-Digi? Calls it 7.4. Let's see what it thinks the AC Infinity solution to be. It drops down to 7.15 for the pre-solution. Oh, it's not going to fit in there, so we're going to have to do the other one. $7.4 on that 7.0 solution. And let's see what it thinks the 686 is. $7.18. And we know that's 686. So he's about 0.3 higher than he should be. AC Infinity's about 0.2 higher than he should be. And obviously Hanna seems to be spot on. Our new contender.
A contender.
Our G-Digi 7.5 is what it calls the 7.0. 7.4 it calls the other 7.0. And last but not least, the 686 solution, and it thinks it to be 7.2. Oh, that's kind of a bummer, because that means G-Digi, as much as I like G-Digi, 7.2, and it's supposed to be 6.8. So G-Digi and VivoSun are off by 0.3, so almost a third of a point, close to it. AC Infinity was off by 0.2, which is like a fifth of a point, right? And Hanna seemed to be more or less spot on. Kind of a bummer. I've got the little cleaning brush. I don't know. I mean, these meters are all new. Do I really have to go through this much trouble cleaning brand new meters? Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm gonna take. The guy said use rubbing alcohol. I'm just gonna gently brush off the meter. I'm really bummed about this G-Digi. I'm not gonna lie. I had high hopes for the guy that had AAA batteries. I just thought that would be a wonderful thing. I'm gonna put him back in the solution. Still reading this solution 7.2. I'm gonna go over here. Still 7.2. So what have I learned? So it's high again. Oh, it's almost up to 9.5. So once again, it's high. So our two cheapy meters are typically high on the pH side by about a third of a point, 0.3, give or take a little bit there. Our AC Infinity tends to be a little bit high, off by 0.2. So 0.2 out of 1 is a fifth. So this AC Infinity is about a fifth of a point off. These are a third of a point off. Hanna, if it is off, it's not more than a fifth, but it's usually spot on, and I guess it depends on the solution. So there you have it. This is what I suspected all along. Hanna for $250, pretty much where it's at. Real AC Infinity is within a fifth of a point, which I believe is survivable. It's not the end of the world with it being that close. And then the cheapies, the $4 one, which actually kind of beats, it's sad in my opinion, it actually beats the $40 one, which I had so much hope for my G-Digi. Now it's got to go back. There you have it. So you do get what you pay for with the pH meters. Again, I'm thinking for the bang for the buck, $50 for an AC Infinity, you're going to be within a fifth of a point. I'm going to continue to test more pH meters. I'm really bummed that my Hanna checker, which I bought used, so I can't blame this because I did buy it used off of eBay, although now that's got to go back. It turns on, it seems to work, it just doesn't give stable readings, so we're going to not count him in the test. This for $50 is hard to beat. You're within a fifth of a point. $250 to Hanna gets you, we'll say, within a tenth of a point of accuracy, if not straight on accuracy. I thought the G-Digi was going to be the killer, but he's off by a third of a point, as is the $4 meter. Can't forgive, I mean, you can forgive the $4 meter because it was $4. $40 though, I'm not as willing to forgive, and I am going to be sending it back. So that's today's pH meter testing. I know it's a long video. How else am I supposed to do this faster? I will do the best at editing to cut out parts we don't need. But I wanted everyone to see the tests and see what I was doing. I hope this helps at shedding light on which pH meter the home gardener might want to get. I'm sure the professionals are all getting the Hanna. We know that. It's for them, it's worth it. But for the home guy, I'm really leaning toward this AC Infinity. And yes, I didn't bring the Blue Lab in. The Blue Lab and all the testing I've done before, it's as good as the AC Infinity, if not a little bit better in some places, but you're splitting hairs at that point. The Blue Lab pen is twice as much as the AC Infinity, so this is starting to look like dollar for dollar. This is what you get, the $50. I know they got a $100 higher accuracy one, although I think it's the same meter. And I also think Apera is the OEM for AC Infinity. More paychecks come in, more free money's available. I will do that comparison as well. Really bummed that G-Digi's losing out. Again, I'm trying to help the home guy figure out which one to buy, where to put your money at if you're doing home hydro as a hobby. You don't want to go full 250 Hanna, but you want to get something that's close enough. And I think we know from the tests I've done, the videos I've done, I think we're seeing where this is starting to go. Not sponsored by any of these guys. This is all my money. If I had more of it, I would have 20 pH testers out here, and we'd really get to the bottom. Unfortunately, I have to do this as like a series where I test different ones. So this, we'll call this V2 of the shootout. Yeah, so if this is helpful, if you're the home gardener, you're trying to figure out pH for your hydro that you're just starting to get into, hopefully my videos will show you when you go to get a pH meter, you can do better than the Vivo Sun. Just know how much it's going to be off by. You don't need to go all the way up to the Hanna. That's a lot. But for $50, you can get something that's pretty reasonable. And I'll continue to test, and we'll see where we get to. So likes and subscribes if you're getting value out of this. If I'm helping you shop, figure out which pH meter is going to do you the best as the home hobbyist hydro gardener. I would appreciate very much the like, the subscribe. Again, I don't have enough money to buy 20 pH meters at once. I got to buy, test, and return, which is what I'm doing. So the subscribes are nice, lets me know, tells the YouTube algorithm. Someone's actually watching this. Anybody's watching this? I don't know. Hello? But anyway, it's also my pastime, enjoyable, fun pastime, same time. And thank you very much. Hope you had a good, or having a good 2025 grow season. This is Davo sending you my positive waves, and we're out. Thank you.